Today we're going to be discussing female sexual selection as it pertains to natural selection. We're going to figure out how do women select men, and what can we learn from natural selection as a whole. And in knowing this, what can you do as a man to improve your sexual market value? So let's start with the basics. Women select men for symmetry. They evaluate men for facial harmony. This is a very standard evaluator for beauty because healthier people tend to be more symmetrical. And lots of animals use symmetry for selecting mates. Butterflies won't mate with another butterfly if the other butterfly even deviates slightly from what is considered to be the ideal. Another marker is shoulder to waist ratio, and so is waist to hip ratio. And waist to hip ratio is something that men typically, subconsciously look for in women. We evaluate women for that hourglass body. But why? Well, it's because it's a symbol of fertility. That's why we're attracted to it. It's a symbol of health. And there are lots of different markers for health. And health is one of the two most important things that both men and women select for. And most things that cause attraction fall within this parameter of health. So others could be healthy skin, maybe having a tan. It shows that you go outside and have sufficient vitamin D. I need to work on that. And having muscles and being in shape. So now we get to the bad news, boys. I remember a time where you couldn't even mention the word hypergamy without getting banned or canceled. We've come a long way, man. But this is just facts. Women tend to date at or above their level, largely based upon socioeconomic factors. And the fancy word for this is just hypergamy. And we all know this. We all know that women do not date down. They are always looking for the best mate available. Statistically, across cultures, women tend to go for men that are 4 to 5 years older than they are, mainly because older men have established more of an economic independence and are more likely to be able to provide for a woman and potential children, and maybe a fun lifestyle. Wealth is very much an attraction trigger, and it has been since the dawn of time. Think about cavemen. Whoever was going out hunting and bringing home all the food was also getting to mate with the women. If a guy back in the day could not provide, well, nobody was going to mate with him because how could he provide for a woman or potential children? Now, men don't go out hunting, but we go out to work, and it's the same concept. It's deeply ingrained in female biology since the dawn of time to be attracted to men that can provide. And now for men, it's kind of the opposite. Men tend to date at their level or down because men do not care about a woman's socioeconomic status, right? We don't really care if a woman makes $40,000 a year or if she makes $200,000 a year. It doesn't matter. It's about the person, it's about how she looks, and about how she carries herself. We don't care how much money she makes. It's just not a part of our selection method. And again, women also select for health because of these reasons. If you're healthy and strong and energetic, you're more likely to be successful, and thus you're more likely to be able to provide for her. So here are the big three. Both men and women tend to select for attractiveness, intelligence, and personality. However, there are differences between men and women on which of these three things are the most important and how much weight each of them holds. For men selecting women, typically attractiveness is by far the most important factor, while intelligence and personality are more important for women when selecting men. All three of these things are just attraction triggers and competency triggers. In other words, attractiveness, intelligence, and personality are all markers for a person's overall health and a person's potential future earnings, which signals an ability to provide. And it's just the way it is, but it's easier to make money if you're attractive and if you're intelligent and if you have a good personality. Life is just easier. And so let's take it a step further. Women tend to select men for their ability to climb the dominance hierarchy. And this applies through every single animal species throughout the animal kingdom. Now, the difference between humans and animals is that we have multiple dominance hierarchies going on at the same time. And the hierarchies are predominantly based upon competence, whereas most animals use physical prowess, physical dominance, and also just general size as the main attraction triggers or the main competence triggers, because it's just a visual marker for an animal to climb to the top of a dominance hierarchy. It's also observed that in most animal species, the females tend to select males based on their size. They literally try to select for the largest possible mate. They're looking for the biggest gorilla or the largest whale. And this is one of the most important attraction triggers throughout the entire animal kingdom. They want the largest size disparity they can find between themselves and the potential mate, because it's just a marker for strength, safety, and dominance. And so you probably picked up on this, but this is also true amongst humans. We all know that it's not a secret that women want taller guys. Even the shortest girls still have their standards set to they want men above 6 feet tall because they're selecting for the largest size disparity between them and their mate. And because of this female selection pattern throughout the course of history, humans have gotten taller over time. It's just natural selection because women were selecting for taller guys throughout history. And it sucks for the short kings out there, but it's just the way that it is. So remember I said there's one other thing besides health that is the most dominant attraction trigger? Most animals throughout the animal kingdom select for health and power. That's it. Now humans are of course a bit more complicated, but most of the things we're talking about all fall under either health or power, right? Women want taller guys with a symmetrical face that are strong and in good shape. They also want intelligent men who can make a lot of money and have a good, fun, energetic personality. All of those things are just attraction triggers that fall under health or power if you really think about it. And another thing women do, and this happens in the animal kingdom as well, is that they let men compete and select the top one amongst each other, and then they use that as the key attraction trigger, right? They want that group leader, they want the CEO, they want the leader of the tribe, or the guy with the most aura. And so they tend to choose the guy that has the most power or the most authority over the group, over other men, because it shows that other men respect them. So as men, what the fuck do we do with all of this information? Well, I recommend doing kind of like a soft core looks maxing, basically just getting lean, getting strong, take care of your skin and take care of your hygiene, and dress nicely. It's that simple. Any man can do these things. And if you do these things, you will look like you take care of yourself, which is a signal to women that you could take care of her and potentially a family, right? You essentially look like a put together man. Now you should also strive to make money and elevate your status. This one's pretty obvious, but it's probably the most important attraction trigger amongst humans. I don't care how much of a loser you are. I don't care how fucking ugly you are. If you have money and status, women will still want you. And lastly, you should also look to increase your knowledge by reading, because this will make you seem more intelligent. You'll know more things. And like we said earlier, intelligence is a very powerful attraction trigger because it signals future potential earnings. So you should look to gain wisdom for just, other reasons as well, but it's important in this aspect also. So really, if you think about it, the only things you can't fix are facial harmony and height, unless you do some sort of surgery. Everything else is entirely within your control. So there's no excuses. It's not over for you. It never was, man. Just work on these things, give it time, and you'll find a good woman. I promise. This video is heavily inspired by a lecture that Jordan Peterson did, I think like 7 years ago. I'll link that video below in the description. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you.